Hi, I'm John Abraham and you're watching me on Spotlight with Smrity. So I could easily do that. I could easily go fight bulging muscles, go fight hit people. कि हमारी मिल्कियत है उसको लेके आओ. ये सरजमीन पाकिस्तान का है. दो गाने डाल दो. Item song डाल दो. Why do you think films are not doing well? I'm asking you. And I'll tell you what the answer is.
Hello, Namaste, Adab, and welcome to a brand new episode of Spotlight with Smrity. Today, I have with me someone who's not just a heartthrob, but also a versatile actor, producer, fitness enthusiast, and animal advocate. Presenting to you the one and only John Abaraham. Hi, John.
Hi, Smriti. How are you?
It's such a pleasure to have you with us today.
Thank you.
So, we are here to celebrate the amazing response and the love that the Diplomat is getting. Tell me, how's the feeling?
Feels great. There's a big sense of relief that we got this film out the way we did, and the audiences are really loving it. So, big relief for all of us.
Great. I read recently a statement where you revealed that a lot of OTT platforms were not taking the film. They didn't have the faith in it. I want to know from you that now that the movie is out there and it's getting so much of appreciation, have anybody from, the people who kind of panned it earlier, did they call you? Did they speak to you? Okay, it was an oversight and, we have seen the movie, liked it, something like that?
No one calls, nor do we expect any calls from anyone. So I think, there are no friends and enemies in this business. And that's what I, tried explaining to my director as well. Because Shivam's not done too many films, and he's, he is sensitive to situations, and I tell him there are no friends and enemies. You can never say never. You don't know who you'd have to work with, who you don't have to work with. So maybe the perspective was, and I'm talking about OTT platforms or studios, maybe their perspective was that we didn't find much in this film, and everybody's got a right to a point of view. And usually, most of the times, they stand corrected. So it's nice to see that. At least, we've done our job. When they look back, they say, shit, we missed the bus on this, It's nice.
Okay. Tell me, when something like this happens, that, you put in so much of heart and soul into making something. And then when you see people who are your acquaintances, colleagues, and, experts in their own field, they do not show that faith in it. And then when it is out there and works and gets appreciation from the audience, love from the audience, what does it do to your conviction?
So I'll tell you honestly on this film, Smriti, I think the sense of confidence we got was because Shivam has got a very close group of friends who are directors. Anurag Kashyap, Neeraj Pandey, Subhash Kapoor, and a host of other people in Imtiaz Ali, and he's got these bunch of friends, Sri Ram Raghavan, that he speaks to, and they all converse with each other about their films. When they all saw the film, they loved it. And I think a lot of our confidence came from there, or my confidence rather came from there, that, we must be having something that everybody's liked. And this was pre-release. And then obviously when it released, and when the audiences started accepting it the way they did, then we were like, wow, we've got something really special on our hands. And I think that's what the Diplomat has done what it's done for the studio, what it has done for, as in T-Series, what it's done for Shivam Nair, what it's done for my co-producer, Fortune Films, what it's done for me as a producer, but most importantly, what it's done for me as an actor. It's a quantum leap. We've gone into a different, from where I see it, we've gone into a different stratosphere with this film. And we are really enjoying the success, looking at things from there. Okay, everybody, even our worst critics would, fortunately have found it very difficult to say something negative about a film like this. And that's what's really special about The Diplomat.
Right. A lot of people appreciation to hai hi for the film and for the performances, but social media banter, when I checked it, a lot of people are calling it your career best performance. How do you feel about that? Do you see it as that?
Yeah, I feel grateful. I obviously, the first thing I must do is I must thank my director because I think Shivam has directed me beautifully in this film. Secondly, I must give credit to the writer. Uh, and most importantly, I also give credit to the workshops that I had with Saurabh Sachdev, with the entire cast, and with Shivam and everybody. And when someone says, the performances were very nuanced and very subtle, and you stayed consistent and true to the character right till the very end, because it is easy to go out of character and fight or do something crazy, but we didn't. Even with dialogues, there were some dialogues that were very takya kalam dialogues कि पाकिस्तान ये ज़मीन पाकिस्तान की है लेकिन whatever so we could have gone overboard, but we always stayed in character, and I think that's, and when the audience has appreciated that, Smriti, that's the biggest it's the biggest gift for me. So it is a new John Abraham in a way, and I'm very excited about that.
There's a scene breakdown that I want to do with you because it really stood out for me when I saw the movie. It was one of the scenes that made me go, "Wow, kya scene hai!" So it comes in the first few minutes of the film when you are interrogating Uzma, and I think you have to maintain a balance between be there for her, but at the same time try to figure out if it is a genuine case.
Yeah.
And then there's a point where you just bang the desk
table
so hard, and everybody, when we were
It's a
watching the
start.
film, we were like, okay, what just happened?
Yeah.
So, I'm getting goosebumps just talking
Yeah.
about it. I want to know what was the brief and how did you approach this particular scene?
So character-wise, Shivam said this is a character of JP Singh. Obviously, we met JP Singh. So even if I'm looking at you, the idea was to, with my eyes, search you and search Uzma in this case, and figure out whether she's telling the truth or she's lying. कि बिना पुलिस रिपोर्टिंग के, बिना इस चीज़ के उस चीज़ के तुम डायरेक्टली खैबर पख्तूनख्वा पुणे पहुंच गई. So I think the brief that my director gave me was keep searching, keep looking at her, keep searching her, and we didn't prepare Uzma for that. We didn't prepare Sadia for the bang. So when we did that bang, it was over my shoulder, the camera. So when we did the bang, it got her by surprise. So the reaction you see is an actual surprise. But I think character-wise, he had asked me to think of the backstory as to what happened to me in Kabul when I'm telling that story. So when I was doing that scene also, I continuously looked at her. So there were two things playing in my mind. One is कि यार ये सच बोल रही है या झूठ बोल रही है, और जो मेरे साथ काबुल में हुआ, I was replaying it in my mind. So when I'm watching her, the trauma of Kabul is also playing, which you have not seen till later in the film. So I think it came out very effectively.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
There were also a lot of moments where the character opposite to you is saying something really idiotic, and everybody was waiting to just give them a whack,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
we are so used to seeing you in that avatar.
Yeah.
But I want to know from you, real life में how is John Abraham? क्या आपको easily गुस्सा आता है, या is a stern look काफी, because of your personality वो intimidating already हो जाता है?
I think real life में जैसे interrogation में मैं कुछ पूछ रहा था उज़मा को, for example, और वो मैं देख के I start laughing. So real life में I'm a guy who would smile if I get upset, and I say things very sweetly if I get upset, and I implode. So I never explode. I keep it inside me, and I kind of just play it around inside me. So that's the real life me. तो वो जो हुआ स्क्रीन पे, जैसे वो बोलती है, वो लड़का बोलता है बशीर कि हमारी मिल्कियत है, उसको लेके आओ, ये सरजमीन पाकिस्तान का है. Like he screams. The initial reaction from the crowd would be उसको एक punch मारो. But that's not how a diplomat would behave. And in real life, that's not how John would also behave.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm very calm.
Okay. I think a typical Saji.
Saji.
I also wanted to know from you that you have done an amazing movie as a producer with Srijit Sarkar, Vicky Dona. And then you did Madras Cafe with him as an actor and producer.
Correct.
Uske baad, there was nothing that you both collaborated on. So why? And is there a chance, is there any kind of discussion that, we will work together on something?
After that, I think the last time we met was Piku, because आपको याद है वो travel agency in Piku, Irfan Khan and Deepika. The travel agency is my office.
Okay.
So that was the last time we met. We were in touch after that for a brief bit, but then Shujit also got very busy with his work. With I think he did October and he did a couple of other films. At the same time, I got busy with my work. So we did keep in touch occasionally, once in a way. And of course, you know, we'd love to work with directors that we've kind of, you know, gelled with. So I'd love to work with him someday soon.
Okay, inshallah.
Yeah.
John, you have had such a wonderful journey, more than 2 decades now. And I'm sure हम सबकी life में, सबके career में, there are so many phases, there are ups and downs. Again, there are, you know, highs and lows again. So was there any phase in your life where you really thought that things are not happening your way and you really felt frustrated? And then how did you turn things around? How did you overcome that?
I think before Diplomat.
Okay.
You know, where you felt, but you know, I kept it inside me. Like I said, I implode, I don't explode. So I felt, yeah, things aren't really happening my way. People don't have belief in the kind of subjects I want to say. And I thought to myself, and I said, but I've given a wiki donor to people. I've given a Madras Cafe. We've given a Parmanu. We've given a Batla House. Now we're giving a Diplomat. Why is there no, you know, so you keep asking yourself questions that why is there so much resistance for people to accept good cinema? And it felt, but I think the answer in that and how I bounced back was the Diplomat doing the business it's doing, and more importantly, getting the acceptance it has got. So I think that's the best way to, you always have to answer back with your work, not with your words. Because words are very easy. Smriti, if I met you before you watched The Diplomat, you'd be asking me questions and tell me about your character. I get that. But when you've seen the film and you're talking to me, you're discussing scenes and scene breakdowns with me. That's beautiful. So I always think that your work should speak rather than your words, which is why I'm one of those people who believes that the best publicity you can do for yourself is by doing the work that you do, not by projecting an image about yourself that you may not be.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Especially at a time like this where social media and creating an image over there is,
Yeah.
you know,
But people
everybody
see
is
honesty.
focusing on
Yeah.
that.
But Smriti, people see honesty and people see your intent. So even these people on social media and all, they call it out. Yeah. They're smart. They're youngsters. They're smart. They know who's fibbing and who's not. You know. So, and I'm very clear. I'm very anti certain things. I'm not inflexible, but I'm anti certain things. And one of the things I'm anti is trying to project an image about yourself when you're really not that person. So you have to be very careful about how you want to market yourself, if you want to market yourself.
Right. You have a marketing background, you are an actor and a producer. So it's like a 360-degree, you know it all. There has been so much discussion the past couple of years about the movie business not doing well, you know, or the way I'm not even getting into South ki movies chal rahi hai, Hindi nahi chal rahi hai, not about that. But even then, you know, it's become very unpredictable ki kya chalega, kya nahi chalega. Have you ever given this a thought, and what is your take? What do you think, what is happening and why it is happening?
See, it's very simple, Smriti. I think you and I will have the same answer to this. Why do you think films are not doing well? I'm asking you. And I'll tell you what the answer is. We aren't telling good stories. We're not concentrating on our writing. We're not concentrating on what you actually need to make a film. We're looking at all the peripheral stuff. We're looking at star quality. We're looking at proposals. We're looking at Instagram followers. We're looking at everything else that doesn't have to actually do with the craft. If you go down back to the craft and start concentrating, and this is a guy who's known for his physicality who's telling you this. You know what I'm saying? You have to actually go down to your craft. And what's a craft? Craft is understand what craft the director is bringing to the process. Understand the craft that the writers are bringing to the process. Understand the craft that the actors are bringing to the process. What is the content you're trying to, what's the story you're trying to tell? We've forgotten that. So if we go back to that, we will make good films. And The Diplomat is the best case in point. No one had expectations. There was no over marketing done for this film. Nothing. The credibility of this film, if you go back and look at all my interviews or all my directors' interviews, we did a round table where it was just a director and me. Everything is credible. So you attach a lot of respect to the way this film was marketed. We didn't go and dance at college festivals. We didn't go here or there. We were true to our subject. But we were also true to our subject when we were making the film. We have to just go back to that. Go back to basics. Once you go back to basics, you'll be fine. You'll tell good stories.
Right. Yeah, I think that is what is missing. A lot of Amir Khan I met recently, and he was also saying the same thing that, good stories, that is the first thing that you need to, have in place, and then everything will definitely.
Everything will, and when you tell a good story, Smriti, you can still go wrong. Sometimes you still go wrong, but at least you're trying to tell a good story. But if you're not trying to tell a good story, and you're just trying to put a project together and have 4 banging songs that you feel will get you an opening, or have the hero mindlessly hit people, and I don't have a problem with it. Just do anything inane, and you expect the fandom of the hero or the cast to get people in. That's where you're taking your audience for granted. So I could easily do that. I could easily go fight bulging muscles, go fight, hit people, say, okay, 2 गाने डाल दो, item song डाल दो. लेकिन वैसे नहीं होता है यार. You have to tell good stories. Which is why in The Diplomat, I'm also struggling as a producer to convince my studio, to convince my marketing team, to convince everyone that, listen, we are telling a good story. And finally, who's the king? The audience. The audience comes in and says, and they clap in the end of the film. They love it. That's your biggest reward.
Right. आजकल re-release का काफ़ी दौर चल रहा है, and when I met Abhishek recently and I asked him which of his film would he want to see re-release, he said Dostana should, because it would be such a fun experience once again to watch it on the big screen. I want to know from you, आपको अगर pick करना हो तो which one would you pick?
I'll give you an honest answer. I wish we make good films where cinemas don't feel the need for a re-release. Why are they re-releasing films? Because there's no one coming into cinema halls. So they're getting films from the past and re-releasing. In fact, one of my films is re-releasing, I've heard. 1 or 2 of my films. Now, do I want them to be released? The answer is I don't care. I want to make new films that get the audiences in. So I'm not a big re-release fan. I'm not one of those. And I choose to believe that the audiences will come in for good new films rather than a rehash all over again.
Okay. Re-release से ही I remember that there was Sanam Teri Kasam that did really well, and you had put out a very sweet message for Harshvardhan.
Yeah.
And he has been so excited and talking about it everywhere that joins her message. I want to know from you कि ऐसे और कौन actors आपको लगते हैं in the industry who have not gotten their due perhaps?
I think for one, Harsh, I think, it's a shining example in front of you. What a good boy, hardworking, talented. I remember seeing Tesh, and I remember seeing that boy perform in Tesh, and Saurabh Sachdev also. Everybody was brilliant in that film. So I feel, that's why I said, he's finally got his due. He deserved it. It was just a matter of time. I feel if you're a good actor, you will find your place. I believe that. I feel if you don't find your place and you get bitter, there must be some reason why you haven't found your place. You'll have to work harder for your opportunities. I get that. If you're not a film kid, you have to work way harder for your opportunities, but that shouldn't be making you bitter. So I think every good actor on OTT or in films, they've all found their place, Smriti. People appreciate everybody in their spaces. Like Sharib Hashmi, who was with me in The Diplomat, the wonderful human being, wonderful actor. He's found his place. He's very happy. He's busier than I am. We had to call him for some interview, and I got one date of his. Unfortunately, we couldn't shoot. We hadn't decided to shoot. But he's saying, "Sir, मैं आ रहा हूँ एक दिन के लिए लॉस एंजलिस से, I've gone to promote an independent film there, and next day I'm leaving for Lucknow. This is the day you've got. I feel so good. They're all busy. They're all happy. And they're all earning good money.
Beautiful. So now that we have seen Diplomat, obviously हमारा मन नहीं भरा है. We want to see you more and more on the screen. Tell us what's next for us.
Now Tehran is next, a film called Tehran, produced by Dinu Vijayan. And I don't know when that's going to release, but we're ready with the film. So that's my next. And that has a little more action. And it's again a gripping, hopefully a gripping film. And I hope people take my word for it this time at least.
Okay. And what about the sequels to some of your most loved franchises? Satyamev Jayate, Force.
I think Force, yes, I would love to do a Force. I mean, there's nothing finalized. But if you ask me what I'd love to do is I'd love to do a Force and I'd love to do a Garam Masala.
Oh, yes.
Those are my two spaces and the sequels that I'd really love to do at this point of time. Because Garam Masala is a cult comedy film, and I think Akshay and I have been wanting to do it for the longest time. So, and you know, there's nothing more beautiful than making people laugh. So, but it has to be funnier than the first part. And Force, of course, because I feel that's the father of all action films. That's where the true action hero of the 2000s actually came up. And I would want to make Force happen again.
You have done comedy, action, intense roles. What is it that you enjoy doing the most? And when it comes to consuming content, what is the genre that you
I'll tell you, very good question. So I think, Smriti, I've done geopolitical stuff. Madras Cafe, Parmanu, Batla House, The Diplomat in that space. Even New York could be considered, you know, a drama in that space. I've done comedy.
Tehran is going to be?
Tehran. Tehran. Again, it's a human story, but gripping and geopolitical, yes. I've done comedy, Garam Masala, Desi Boys, Houseful, Pagalpati. So I've done a lot of those. I've also done quite a lot of intense stuff. Like, I don't know, I've done like Zinda. I played a villain in Zinda, like Shootout at Vadala, Dhoom, Pathan, you know. So I've done all kinds of stuff. The one, you know, it sounds crazy, but I'm very comfortable in all genres. But the one that I like consuming the most, just because I want to be happy, is comedy. I love consuming comedy. So when I see something that's slapstick or that's, I think it's cool. I think it's fun. I think it's sweet. And your actors seem more lovable and sweet when they do something funny.
Right. Okay. Anything that you're binge watching currently?
No, but the one I want to see, I just about started seeing it, was Adolescence.
Yeah.
So that's something I really, really want to see. Like, I'm very excited about that.
Right. It's a wonderful series.
You saw it?
Yes, I've seen it.
Yeah,
And
4-part series.
Yeah, 4-part. And I think it is like very well made, very relevant to today's time. As a mother of a 9-year-old, I really felt that, you know, this is like a wake-up call for us. Yeah.
Wow. And you're saying that applies to in India as well, Asia as well?
Yeah, everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's beautiful, yeah.
I want to see it.
Choice.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, Jawan. Thank you so much for
Thank
talking
you.
to us. And we are manifesting more amazing movies
Thank you.
on the big screen and on OTT as well, right?
Of course, yeah, both. I mean, both places can coexist beautifully. I just hope that once films release on the big screen, we have a longer gap before it comes on OTTs, so people can enjoy it on the big screen. And there's a hunger to go back to cinemas. I'm one of those hopefuls that believes that films work best when they're on the larger format.
Bilkul. I am also all for the big screen experience.
Yeah,
Yes.
I enjoy it.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Jawan.
Smriti. Thank you.